Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes. It is indeed the final episode of the series, or at least of the season, I should rather say, because we will have a season 3, but when that will come and much more just after the intro. And with that, of course, as always, before we get into today's video, if you should end up enjoying this episode, then feel free to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? Now, obviously, we've had a bit of a break since we last had an episode in this season. The reason was I was very busy with another project. Maybe you know it. I did a documentary about the current situation in the aviation industry. It was a very, very fun project to do, but it did take me just about a month to get everything done, from first original script writing to getting the interviews, and of course the editing and all that other stuff that you have to do when you do something like that. And I had to take the time from somewhere, and it ended up being Airport CEO. But here we are now with our final episode of the season, I should say. I tried to avoid to say of the series, because I do intend to make a season 3, but more on that a little bit later. So what will we be doing today? Well, we will actually do a tour around the airport, because I have worked quite a lot on the airport off camera since we've last been together here in an episode. And I've done so really to finish up the airport so that we can have a really lovely tour around the entire facility. Right now there aren't any aircraft in here, but they should arrive fairly soon. Fairly soon. Let's see, we have done, let's see here, Wednesday, yeah. So that's when the aircraft start to come in. There are a few aircraft that will already fly during night. You can see here, Terminal 2. I've made an extensive list over the different airlines and what terminals they are flying to and from. And we will go through that as well in the video. But first of all, let's just take an overview. Obviously, we have 3 terminals. We have the main Terminal 1, which is over here in the middle of the screen right now. Then to the right of that, we have the a bit smaller Terminal 2. And that's obviously all inspired by the real Berlin Tegel airport. If you haven't noticed it yet, that's what we're trying to emulate here. And then north of all of that, on the other side of the runways, we then have a small little terminal, which is the government's terminal, our VIP terminal, which is exclusively operated by the German Air Force. I had to do quite a lot of things off camera, and after the last update to Alpha 35, this game bugged out a bit more for me than I had anticipated. So I actually had to go into a hidden menu and basically ask the game to reconstruct everything. So there might be a few things here and there that I still need to activate that I have missed before I started recording this. So just in case you're wondering. But yeah, basically everything has been reconstructed. But it should have solved most issues. There was a lot of things where I was trying to build something and the game was just saying I can't reach, or the workers can't reach that area for whatever reason. There are still a few issues here and there that I was unable to solve, but we will get into that as well a little bit later. So let's start with Terminal 1, shall we? So basically everyone, regardless if you're going to Terminal 1, 2 or 3, is coming in obviously from this road here, as always in the game. Then you have the option of these 3 tunnels. Each is guiding you to one specific terminal. So you would come in here and go down here through the shortest tunnel and then come up right here. Then there's the option up here. We have a drop-off zone for cars. I do believe it's only cars. There might be some taxi. No, I think it's only cars. Maybe we should have changed some of that into a big parking lot, but for now it is like this. And then we of course have the main square where you can go in here, where we have all the different taxi stops, the bus stops, and we also have some more drop-off zones for cars. In the center of that square there is a building That is again inspired by Berlin Tegel, but obviously we are. It is an interpretation, and it is as close as we can get with what we can achieve in the game, basically. Obviously, in real life, I think what we have here is a car park, and then above there's just a big structure which is basically just used for advertisement, and it doesn't really contain anything. In our case, we have here on ground floor a restaurant, and we also have some escalators which will bring or can bring you downstairs. What is there we will take a look at later. We also have an elevator which brings you upstairs. Now let's just finish that, because this is all basically the area that is accessible outside of the security zone. So if you go upstairs, there we have this is only accessible via the elevator. Maybe not very good for fire protection, but yeah, anyway, we ignore that. Here we have some offices. They are staff rooms, but we have, for example, for this one, we have then set allow staff types. We have then said this is only for the CEO, so this would be an executive office. On the other side, or here over here, we also have done that. So this is, for example, only for the CFO, CIO, and COO. And over here we also have some management, HR, procurement, strategy, and administrator. And this one is then just for everybody. I don't think they will ever go here, because most other staff rooms are allowed for everybody, so I'm pretty sure they will just hang out there. But this is the idea, that this would be the main administration of the airport, hanging out here. Then we can go up one more level, which leads us to this strange area. And from here, basically, you can then access the visitor terrace. Yes, we have a visitor terrace. So if you're going through this floor here, all the way over here, then here we have a visitor terrace. Now this continues all the way down here. The other rooms you see here, they are closed off, so you can't access them from this side. All the way down here, all the way over here, you can go and just stand and look at the planes. Again, here some seating arrangements all the way over here. This is again connecting over to where the elevator is, all the way up here. So almost 360-degree visitor terrace, just as in real life. Although in real life, I think an area that you couldn't access would be on this side, on the east side of the terminal. In our case, it's on the north side, an area that you can't access. But anyway, so that's the area that is open for visitors. I don't think in the game anyone will ever find their way up here, but we have it, and I'd rather like that we have it. It's been something that I have been trying to figure out how to do for a long time. Anyway, so we have these public areas then inside the terminal. This is obviously where you will go to your check-in desks. Most of it, this is still pretty much as manual as it can get. So we have the normal check-in desks, or the large, I think they're called now. This is the same over here at the west pier of the airport. Then we have some shopping arrangements. I have signed all of these shops now with contracts, but I think they're just not open yet. But anyway, we have all sorts of shops here. JD Sports, Louis Vuitton, and this is Paper News. Great. Then up here, this is of course the North Pier, where we have where we handle our international flights from. See, I need to activate these. I have changed here the some of the boarding arrangements, some of the check-in desks to these automated check-in counters, which of course increases the capacity quite a lot. Let me just quickly get this done, and then we can continue our tour around. We also have the automated check-in. So these are the baggage drop-off desks, and these are the check-in counters. From there you then go through security and would then head upstairs. Obviously behind all of these check-in counters we have a staff room. If you are then heading upstairs to take your plane, you arrive in the international part of Terminal 1, or at least one of the international parts. This is sealed off from the rest of this ring of the building. because otherwise we would have to again have here passport controls and all that. So that's sealed off. We have again some lovely stores here, and we have our wide body stands. Let me just speed up the game so that we will have the aircrafts coming in very soon. Makes it a little bit more fun to look at, doesn't it? Anyway, here then, if you have arrived from your aircraft, from your international flight, you would come in here, and then you would have the passport control basically here, so you can leave the area again. If we just go quickly downstairs again, you can see just after the security check here, we have the passport controls on both sides. Right. Okay. So let's see. Let's say you have arrived, and now you're coming down. You're going out. So again, through the passport checks here, manned and unmanned, and then you go downstairs, where we then have the baggage claim. At the baggage claim, we also have bathrooms, and I think that's the only thing that I'm kind of that I'm maybe not entirely happy with the public area of Terminal 1 here, is that I have bathrooms, but they are all connected to the baggage claim areas, and we should actually have had a few outside here as well, and I kind of missed that. But yeah, I mean, the game allows people to walk into these baggage claim areas from the outside, so they can access the bathroom, so it's not a huge problem for the game. I think it's just for me personally, I would have preferred that, yeah, we would have that, but I kind of forgot. So yeah, but forgetting things when building airports is obviously a very, very much a known thing for Berlin. So I guess we're keeping it authentic. Anyway, so this is of course the principle for all these parts of Terminal 1, that when you come in, you have the check-in counters, and then behind that you have the security check. Again, they are manned, but it does say that they're not manned. These are small things. These are small bugs that I've been fighting with since we updated the game, and yeah, I don't think I can really get rid of them, which is also one of the reasons why I wanted to finish the season now. I mean, we were getting close anyway, but I think it's great. It's a good time, a good opportunity to finish this airport and then start a fresh one. Right, so it's the same principle for all the other parts here. You come in, and then you go upstairs, where we have the various shops, and where you then can board your aircraft. Obviously, you've already seen that we then have another level, which you can access from various elevators throughout the terminal here, and we do also have some escalators. Well, one escalator on the west side and one on the east side, and then north and south, they can be accessed via elevators. So for the international part, we have a separate area here that is completely sealed off, where we have restaurants which are signed, but they're still not open, and then we have two lounges here, one for Norwegian and one for Azerbaijan Airlines, and that's obviously because we have some wide-body aircraft from these airlines coming in, so I think that's why it makes sense. Another restaurant over here, and then obviously small staff rooms here. We could maybe have assigned those as well to specific types, but they are just open for anyone who wants to be there. Then the same principle goes on the other side here, on the south pier. We have some lounges, and we should maybe go through which lounges we actually signed. I had asked you guys to suggest what airlines we could sign for these lounges. We had a few suggestions, and I think we managed to get all of the suggestions in. So let's see what we have here. They haven't quite constructed the mats here, but you might be able to see this lounge belongs to KLM. So they have their own lounge here. Then we have another lounge down here, which belongs to Swiss International Airlines. Then you have to go through the restaurant here if you want to connect to the next part, but the game shouldn't have any issues with it. I think people can just do that. And in any case, if not, then you can go down the elevator and up the elevator here again. Here we then have two more lounges, which one is, this one is Lufthansa, and this one I remember was a suggestion, Aer Lingus. So we have those. They even got the green floor here. Then we have another restaurant and another lounge. This one belongs to Aegean. And then we have another lounge here, which is Turkish Airlines. Now, we do have a few more lounges, and we will get to them in a second. Interesting. Why are there so many people going up here now? I never thought anyone would go up here. Very interesting. Maybe they're waiting for the aircraft up here. Haha. See, this is actually the first time that that I'm, after I've constructed all of this is the first time that I'm actually letting it run with aircraft, which is maybe not a good thing given that I'm recording now, but I should have maybe have tested it out. But hey, Star Alliance livery. What airline is that? I think it's Lufthansa, no? Which one? No, Croatia. Ah, Croatia Airlines. Nice. Alright, we are getting distracted here. No, anyway, I find it very interesting that so many passengers are coming up here to the observation deck, visitor terrace, whatever you want to call it. I'm very surprised by that, to be honest, because this is basically before they would have checked in. But I guess maybe it's because we don't really have any... We don't really have any benches downstairs, so maybe they know that there are benches upstairs here, so they're waiting to check in and they do it up here. If that is the case, I might accidentally have done something right here, because this is actually quite awesome to see. Yeah, I mean, they're going down as well, so... Alright, I mean, it works. I like it. It's nice to see the visitor terrace used. This is quite kind of nice. Alright, let's continue with our tour. With this lovely surprise. So then we have the downstairs as well. We have an underground part of the airport, and that is to connect us to the remote parts of Terminal 1. In this case, you can see some of these behind these check-in counters and the security checks. There's a second path which leads downstairs. So if you go downstairs here, we have this lovely little path. You have this pathway here into the center again. This is the lowest part of the center building. This is where we have the baggage claim for all the remote stands. Alright, so the remote stands we have connected with these small satellite terminal-esque buildings where people go through security, and then we have 3 boarding desks in both of these buildings. Then they go upstairs here, and then they are being brought to their planes by bus. That's at least the plan, and I think it kind of works at the moment. Hopefully, at least. Although, seeing that the list here is... I mean, I've signed as many things as I can. I've sorted out all the vehicles I was missing, or I was having a few vehicles too much of one sort and not enough of another sort. I think I have fixed that, but... Anyway, it's our last tour, we should just enjoy it, whatever. The only thing I have struggled with and I just never managed to fix was this part of the terminal and this remote stand here, because I made this into an international part of the terminal. If we just activate the zones, you can see, and this just... I have tried everything I could. I've tried to move these the passport controls. I've done everything I could, and it just never worked. The only thing I managed to do is that I could connect one of these stands or one of these gates or boarding desks up with a gate. All the other ones I had to connect through the same bus stop. I couldn't connect to these 2 bus stops for some reason. Yeah, it's very strange, and I never really figured out why that is, but and that would obviously leave us with some issues with the game here, because obviously you can see, for example, here now the bus is blocking the other bus and stuff like that, which would leave us with operational issues here. But I tried everything I could. For some reason, the game just... I don't know. There's something with the zones. You can see it when we look at the zonings here. It does say that it's not connected, but it's all one zone. There is nothing blocking it. It should just... I don't know. I really do not know. But I think this is also one of the reasons, or one of... Yeah, and why we should perhaps say, okay, the airport is now done, and we can start from afresh with a new project. Anyway, let's just switch off these zones, because that does slow down the game quite a lot. So that's pretty much all we have for Terminal 1. Obviously we have a connection tunnel to Terminal 2. This is still from the old days when the game still didn't know that there was different terminals. Now we can zone them in, which is great, but before that it was important that we had these connection tunnels so that passengers could go from one area of the airport to another, because they would arrive at random places. But it does seem like they're still using these tunnels, so I guess they haven't been built for nothing, so that's great. So if we then follow this connection tunnel to Terminal 2, we come over here. This connection tunnel actually connects on all the way over to Terminal 3 as well, but for now let's stay here at Terminal 2. Terminal 2 is much more simple in its construction and its design, just as in real life. And I can see we are completely overloaded with passengers here wanting to take buses. This is also something that I introduced with the last update, obviously having these small warning icons, for example on taxi stands, when the queue is too long. I don't know what to do about it. I guess it's saying you should have more taxi stands or whatever, but I mean, we have already plenty, but okay. Out here we also have some parking lots, which seem all to be completely occupied. Obviously then also the different mix, or the various mix of bus stops, taxi stops and car drop-offs. When you come into Terminal 2, this is very much inspired as well by the real airport at Berlin Tegel. I built this a little bit more from memory because I didn't have so much material for that, but from the one time I actually flew out of Terminal 2 in Berlin, although I'm pretty sure it's not called Terminal 2, but Terminal C or something like that. Doesn't matter. It's the second terminal of Berlin, whatever you want to call it. Basically, you come in here, and then to your right, you have the check-in area. We also have two small shops here, just to give it more life and to make a little bit of money. Although, as you can see down here, we are not making any money with this airport at all, and I don't think we can ever achieve that. But anyway, so you have all this area here for check-in counters, and we used to have this wall completely as well. But then we changed it up, we added a shop, and then we used the automated baggage drop-off points. Gives us more capacity, and they take up a lot less space, which then enabled us to have this extra shop, which of course is added income for the airport. Then this middle section here was a little bit this, I don't know exactly how it worked because I haven't arrived at the terminal. I've only flown out of it. But here we added the baggage reclaim area. Yeah, but on the left here, that is pretty much as it is in real life. You then have the check-in area where you pass through. And then right immediately after that, you go through a shop. And then you arrive here at the gates. Terminal 2 does not have jet bridges, as in real life. You're walking to the aircraft. And here we then also have a bit of shops. And then we have two lounges here. We have one lounge for EasyJet, which is EasyJet Europe, because we also have EasyJet UK at the airport. And then we have Enter Air. And let's see, what aircraft do we have here at the moment? This looks... it's Middle East. Although I must admit that the livery looks more like an American. And it does say American. Okay, so some of these mods are bugged out a little bit. It does say American. We have the American livery, but it is a Middle Eastern Airlines aircraft, according to the game. We had the same issue with the Azerbaijan aircraft. Not entirely sure what's going on there. Not something that is really under my control. But okay, interesting seeing an American Airlines aircraft here at the airport, although it is not. All right. So anyway, but we have then added a little bit fictional stuff here. I think, yeah, see, these, for example, are still offline because they have been rebuilt. So let's just switch this all on. No? Why can't I open this? Interesting. Check room requirements, but it has all... Okay, I can see. I forgot actually something here. So let's just quickly fix that. These bathrooms inside the lounges, obviously, they are then only accessible for the passengers that are going to the lounge. And then what I have also done is that I have said that these bathrooms should only be accessible for passengers and not for staff, because we have plenty of other bathrooms that in the public areas that staff can use, and then we kind of make this a little bit more exclusive. Yes, we like that. Alright, so let me just quickly add this stuff here. Now if we... Okay, we probably can't open it yet because it still needs to be constructed, but anyway, you get the idea. What we then have added here, which is completely fictional, is actually we have a second floor which can be accessed by this elevator. And up here we have a restaurant, quite a large one. And it is... Who has it? Gordon Ramsay something. Gordon Ramsay's plain food. Interesting. We have a Gordon Ramsay restaurant at our airport. Not bad, I guess. I don't know. I've never eaten at any of his restaurants, so I wouldn't be able to say. Okay. So anyway, this is of course fictional, but the rest is fairly... I mean, I don't think they really have many lounges, if they have any lounges at Terminal 2 in real life, but the rest is pretty much inspired by real life. Alright, but we have more at Terminal 2 because Terminal 2 has a lot of remote stands, and the way I could solve that is by adding small remote terminals, and they can be accessed again through a tunnel. So we lead people down here. On the way they have more opportunities to go to the bathroom should they need so, and then one level further down, there we go. And then through this long tunnel we have obviously now helped ourselves out and our passengers by adding these wonderful new tools. Here we have the walkulators, as they call them in the game. Very cool, very useful, and it does really help us out with the commute of people here, because otherwise this would have taken ages for them to go, and now they can just do it very fast and much more comfortably. Anyway, so when they have reached the end of this tunnel, they come up here. We're still on the ground, and here we then have the entire check-in area for all remote stands of Terminal 2, which are quite a few stands actually. There we also have quite large lounges. One is here for EasyJet UK in this case, and then on the other side here we have another lounge which is still a little bit being constructed, and this one has been assigned to Aeroflot. So they have... I don't think I've opened it, and now it is open. Alright. Although I have also opened EasyJet, and that has also bugged out. This has been for ages like this. They just seem not to be able to man it for whatever reason. There shouldn't be an issue with the zones. I've checked that multiple times, but I don't know. And there are staff rooms in the area, so staff should be able to be here, but they aren't. But okay, these are small things that we just weren't able to solve, unfortunately. But you get the idea of the concept and of the design that we have tried to work out. Again, here passengers arrive, they wait for their flight, then whenever the airport feels like it, they will board the people. Then they will go upstairs here, and then we have on both sides of this building here, again sectioned off, so passengers shouldn't be able to get lost anywhere, and then they will be taken by bus to their aircraft, which we then have here at these remote stands. These are all connected to Terminal 2, all the way over here and all the way up here. All that is still to Terminal 2, and then up here we have Terminal 2, where we have 4 stands that are directly connected with the terminal. So that is basically the layout for that part. Alright guys, over at Terminal 3, this is our VIP terminal. We didn't have much space, so the space was at a premium here, so we had to work our way around that issue. So we have, for example, the drop-off zones all the way over here, and then all the way over. It's not so far, but it's not just in front of the terminal. And then people can walk over here and enter this area. We haven't changed anything to automation over here. Also, I mean, yeah, we could have done so, but in a way, I thought this is a VIP terminal. They would want to be serviced by actual people, not just going to a machine, so we didn't change anything over here. So we have the check-in area here. We have some very large bathrooms, the whole baggage handling stuff over here. The baggage reclaim area is over here as well, separate off, and then you have to go outside. This is a little bit, it's not ideal, but this is the way it ended up being. Right, so if you have arrived here, you have left your luggage, then you go upstairs. Here upstairs we then again have a massive bathroom, And what we also have is a restaurant, or no, this is a cafe, a franchise room. And then we have the boarding areas. So we have one gate here. This is obviously the security zone or security area. We have another boarding desk here, but we obviously have more than just 2 gates. But these are the 2 gates that we have here at the terminal itself. The other ones are remote, and to access them after having come up here through security, then you actually go down again, which is right here. And what you then do is you come down here. This is sectioned off from the public area, and here we then have 3 gates which should service the remote stands. But honestly speaking, this this doesn't look like they're doing it. So this has obviously bugged out since it's been reconstructed. They should service these ones, but okay, we're not using it at the moment, so I think we'll just leave it. But the idea was, and they have been doing in the past, these 3 gates have serviced this remote stand, and this large remote stand. But okay, some things have bugged out. It's a bit annoying because by now I would have hoped that it will all work, but it doesn't quite. But yeah, this is unfortunately how it is. But this is not all for this terminal, because when you are up here in the security zone and you have plenty of time before your plane leaves, you can go 1 level further up, and then you arrive here. And you have a massive lounge for the Air Force, for the Luftwaffe as it's called in German. Yeah, so they have the option to go here. This is on, and this is on. So this is all on. This is perfect. This is open, so they can access it if they want to. So this is our VIP terminal here. All right, I'm pretty sure I've forgotten some stuff. Maybe quickly over here, we also have our very few general aviation stands. I think we have 4 of them. We have 2 de-icing pads for them. Maybe a bit excessive, but yeah. So this is pretty much it. Now, you guys obviously... oh, wait. Of course, we should, quickly go through our list of the airlines that we actually operating. So at Terminal 1, which is obviously here, our lovely Terminal 1, which is, for me personally, my favorite part of the airport because it was very complex to build. It had a lot of things you had to kind of take care of. Also the thing that we kind of have this visitor platform I really like, and that it, at least at the beginning, no, actually still there are still people. It looks like they're actually using it, although obviously not as a visitor platform, but I think just as a waiting area. But still, I really like that they do that. This is quite awesome. But at Terminal 1 we are operating Azerbaijan Airlines, Saudia, EasyJet, but only for international flights, Norwegian, but also here only for international flights. Then Aegean, Austrian Airlines, Aer Lingus, Turkish Airlines, British Airways, Brussels Airlines, Croatia Airlines, Etihad, Finnair, Iberia, KLM, SAS, Swiss. We still have Athens, although they did kind of go into voluntary administration, but they did say that they intended to come back after the corona crisis. We don't know if that will actually happen in real life, but we still have them here. And Lufthansa. So those are the airlines that we're operating here at Terminal 1. Then over at Terminal 2, we also have quite a few airlines. And the airlines we're operating here are Wizz Air, which is why... no, is it Wizz Air? Yeah, Wizz Air we have. Edelweiss, June, which we at some point obviously would have switched over to Air France if we had continued with this airport. Because June is... I think it's technically it still exists, but it is obviously being abandoned, the brand, and just faded into Air France. Makes sense because the airline itself just never made much sense. Then we have Enter Air, which is why we have a lounge for them. Then we have EasyJet Europe and EasyJet UK, Eurowings, Iceland Air, Middle Eastern Airlines. We have Norwegian, Aeroflot, TUI, Air Europa, Sun Express, and Welling. Those are the airlines that we're operating from Terminal 2, and obviously Terminal 3, that is then the German Air Force. So guys, the last thing really we can do here is to talk a little bit about where Season 3 can bring us and when will Season 3 be. The first thing I have to say is this is probably the last episode for quite some time, because I really want to get going with working on my next season of Cardiff. And I need time to be able to write the scripts, so I need to take the time from something. So expect a longer break from airportceo, but I will return with the Season 3. There were a few suggestions from the last video where the next location could be for our next airport. I must say, so far my favorite suggestion is probably Sydney or an Australian airport. I think that could be quite fun, but I'm very much open for your suggestions. So if you have an idea where our next airport could be located, then do feel free to let me know. I would very much appreciate your input there. It's not decided yet where we are going. So even though I quite like the suggestion of an Australian airport, it's not decided at all. So if you have some great suggestions, and please let them, write them in the comment section below. I'll take a look at them, and then you will see at some point Season 3 will start, and then you will know where we are placed. I think that's pretty much all I can say. I hope you have enjoyed this season. I hope you have enjoyed the process following the construction of this airport. Unfortunately, a few too many bugs, a few too many areas that didn't quite work out. Maybe it could never be better because of the design of the airport. Maybe a few things that just bugged out with the multiple updates we got to the game while we were building this. I'm always looking forward to these updates, but it is never great for a save game when an update drops, in the sense that there are a few things that just kind of don't work after that. Although I'm still very happy with the updates because they just give us so many new options. But yeah, anyway, I'm starting to waffle now, so I think it is time to say a massive thank you for everyone who has followed this season and the series in general. And wow, Terminal 2 is struggling. Oh my god. But okay, yeah, I think it is the perfect time to say this is pretty much as Berlin Tegel in real. There are a lot of really awesome things to it, but in reality it just doesn't work. So maybe we've actually managed to perfectly replicate the feeling of Berlin Tegel. Let's just say I choose to finish the season with that. We have perfectly managed to replicate Berlin Tegel. It has many lovely features, but it just doesn't quite work. With that, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.